Danger Dolan. Bite-sized strats for T15 LFR encounters. Refer to the clickable times below this video to jump straight to the boss you need to kill. Links to the normal or heroic versions will also be linked below. Iron Con. So the boss is going to ride 3 different types of mounts, a fire, thunder and frost mount, and in the last phase you fight him directly. So for ongoing stuff, the tanks have to taunt swap every time the boss does a flurry. Everyone has to get out of these ground lines. In the fire phase you got fire ground lines, thunder phase, thunder ground lines, and you can't even jump over them, just try to avoid them whenever possible. For the fire mount, you have to watch the boss's energy and make sure it never exceeds 40 to 50. You do that by getting a group of 5 players to stack with each other. The boss will throw some fire at you, you'll take a lot of damage, and then you spread back out. By the time that finishes, his energy will drop down considerably, and from there you're pretty safe. So just make sure you got a rotation of people stacking up in little groups and you should be fine. For the thunder mount, people are going to get trapped in clouds. All you have to do is click them to release them. There'll be some tornadoes all over the place. The key to that is just to make sure you're not standing in the ground lines or getting hit by tornadoes. Just kind of follow other players, usually they know what they're doing. For the frost mount, the boss is going to put up shields in front of his face and to his side. Just make sure you get around to the side where he hasn't got shields up so you can keep DPSing. For the final phase, just make sure you don't touch any of the cyclones, and healers save your cooldowns for something called Fist Smash. It's going to do a lot of damage to everybody. That is the time to use Revival and Tranquility. As for the twin consorts, you'll be contending with both of these bosses but individually in separate phases. So for the darkness phase, got to move away from green clouds and flowers, otherwise they put you to sleep, which isn't good. At all times you should be spread 10 yards no matter what phase it is, and if you get fixated by an ad, the general rule is that only you can kill that ad, so run away from it and DPS as much as you can. If the tank has been fixated, make sure healers that you're not healing him. It only leads to bad things. For the daylight phase, everyone has to get out of fire, obviously. The bosses have this buff, and it hurts you quite a bit, right? But to get rid of it, an ice comet will drop down from the sky, and the tanks have to drag the boss near to the comet, and it negates their damaging buffs. Now the tanks also have to deal with a debuff on themselves, and they just have to taunt swap for it. That's pretty much it. During the dusk phase, you have to deal with all the mechanics throughout the fight. You also have to avoid something called Tidal Force, just move away from it. And make sure you kill the daylight boss, Suen. Now, Lei Shen, the final boss, the difficulty primarily lies in how confusing it is, especially for an LFR group. So let me try and break it down. Now, there are some rules with void zones in general. Dark blue clouds, you just keep away from. The light blue and crackly ones that appear sometimes on the west conduit, you stand in, they're good, alright? You got everyone to stand in them. The super bright, huge ones, just get as far away from those as you possibly can. They are not difficult to miss, they're huge. The gist of this fight is that the tanks need to hold the boss near a conduit, wait for that conduit to overload after a while, then a phase transition happens. After that phase transition happens, in which the boss is in the center of the room, things return to you dragging the boss near a conduit, and keep going like that until the fight ends. As for the conduits, now the north conduit, it's called Static Shock. You can click it, it'll tell you its name. You got a stack on the player with the blue circle. The east conduit, called Diffusion Chain, you have to heal through the chain lightning damage and also burn the ads that appear. The south conduit, called Overcharge, you just stack on the big player, just stack immediately. It's really obvious where he is because he is huge. For the west conduit, called Bouncing Bolt, you stand in the light blue crackly zones, like in the void zone rules. Now there are 3 phases. When the boss does decapitate, one tank has to go to like maximum range and then taunt off the other tank, because if you're close to the boss when he does decapitate on you, it does a lot of damage, almost kills you. So the further away you are when you take that damage, the safer you will be. Now that's just phase 1. For phase 2, you got to taunt swap whenever you get a debuff. It happens frequently. Everyone has to move out of this smog attack. It's pretty obvious, there are like lines on the ground, you just move out of it. And you got to burn the lightning orbs that appear, just like the ads on the east conduit. Phase 3 is going to be some wind pushback, just like in Ji-Kun, more smog attacks, and run away from the super bright void zones and kill the orbs, and that is all there is to it. The tanks have to drag the boss towards the comet, this ice comet that falls down from my tits when they decide to lactate. I'm fucked up.